Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, coming at you with a second video from this lovely little Sunday because Ethereum is actually looking rather interesting. So we're going to do a very quick analysis on Ethereum, and then hopefully I will be back on tomorrow for some more live stream analysis. So with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest as I speed around my words right now. And let's get into it with no further ado. And what do we see over here on Ethereum? Over this past weekend, we do see more of the same now, don't we? Anyways, first starting off with the 12-hour right here, we are working on a bullish engulfing dildo, which will be confirmed in about 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 20 seconds with any sort of a closure essentially above 39.20. With that in mind, of which we are currently about 2 healthy bucks above right now. No, we just lost it. It's all for naught. It's all gone. No, with that said, just hanging around here would look pretty damn good for the week to come. Again, this setup is more or less for this current week to come, not necessarily for today. With that said, 12-hour RSI within the bullish control zone and consolidating within there. We actually will even have an ever so slight drive of hidden bullish divergence between this point and this point, making an ever so slightly lower low with a higher low on price action between here and here. It's probably going to show up better on a 6-hour or 4-hour. Let's just double check, and what do you know? Yes, indeed it will. I think maybe even on a 4-hour should already be populating itself, and it is. Hey, there we go. So they're actually rather aggressive right there, to be fair. Getting back in the bullish control zone as well on the 4-hour, and this will confirm at the same time as well as the 12-hour. So 1 hour and 8 minutes and 32 seconds, and these will essentially bleed on into each other. By the way, this potential higher low is coming in within the context of declining volatility the whole way through over the weekend. So this is, again, maybe one of those times to be buying the derp, as they say. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that term, although this wouldn't be the worst time to be doing it, to be fair. And of course, these always come with invalidation points as well. But if this is going to be the next higher low right here, that obviously aligns, if you are a trend trader, very, very simply put, with the next sort of invalidation point, which is going to be right here at, well, I guess I already have it in there. Oh, Jesus Christ, I got every goddamn time frame charted on this one. Let's see. Okay, can we simplify this chart a little bit more? Yeah, let's just do it like this. How about that? Just right here at about 38 and some odd change, about 38.25, let's say, pretty much around the 4-hour 21 exponential average. On top of that, we do see that if we do confirm a higher low right here, which again can happen as soon as about 1 hour and 7 minutes and 38 seconds, then we will have momentum, we will have trend, and we will have presumably volatility on the ground, which with the mean reverting indicator, what does that essentially imply? That the only direction is up from there. Not necessarily that it has to happen immediately, but statistically speaking, it is more likely. On top of that, the 4-hour jewels had a bit of a bullish reset right here as well, coming all the way down, whilst price action is more or less just putting a higher low as of right now. And if that does start to turn white, that would be the next sort of generally good signal that I'd be looking for on this asset before very likely give another continuation drive to the upside for week to come. With that in mind, looking at the higher term timeframes, we do see that the daily is also working on a bullish engulfing dildo, which can confirm as soon as 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight with any sort of a closure today above 39.50, 39.60 or so. If that were to happen, not only would we see that completed, but we'd also see essentially Ethereum closing above the topside Toronto band once again. And you know my rule on that one, especially after a bit of a Saturday drop back down, which, I mean, if you've been on this channel for a while now, you already know that on the weekends, I typically look for counter trend moves, and they're typically opportunities in my experience, specifically over the weekend, specifically actually on Saturday. In fact, we'll kind of see the same thing going on right here. So if that were to happen, I'd be looking for essentially Ethereum to mount another assault somewhere around about 4150 to 4200, very likely in this week to come. This is looking pretty damn good. Keep in mind, we did close the 2-day two nights ago, and we got our first girthy closure above on the 31st of August. Completed the second one on both an open and closing basis on the 2nd of September, my actual birthday, and working on a third one right here as well. And that will be completed with any sort of a closure today above 39.50. And again, I would essentially be looking for a continuation drive towards about 41.50 or so. Rather soon after that in the next 48 hours. 3-day is also not closing today, but we do see the topside Toronto band as well. Oh, 41.50, very interesting. What about the 5 days? That one closing today? No, it's not, but we did close above the topside Toronto band on that last major breakout on late August. And then of course the weekly is going to be closing today as well. And what are we looking like right here? Please. There we go. Yes, we got it. All right, so the weekly is going to have a chance to close above the topside Toronto band as well, with any sort of a closure above 39.62 as well. So a lot of things coming in around that region. And this, if we were to close above that region on the weekly specifically, we'd essentially have new weekly closing all-time highs, actually. And if that's going to happen, yes, I would essentially be looking for a retest of prior all-time highs at about 44.50 or so, maybe within this next week or two. Then very likely new all-time highs, probably before end of month, maybe early October. But this is looking very, very good. Again, we have what? We have momentum, we have trend, and if we look at volatility over here, well, you already know that's on the ground on the 4 hour, and daily's already expanding, and the expansion came on the actual breakout out of this region right here, kind of similar to Bitcoin right now as well. And so we'd have the holy trinity, as I've been saying: trend, volatility, momentum. That's as simple as it needs to be. By the way, on the daily, we did play at that lovely hidden bullish evidence right here, now consolidating within the bullish control zone, looking pretty damn strong and pretty damn good. Pretty damn thick, solid, and tight, actually. Show me how big and thick you can get, Mr. Ethereum, Mr. Buterol. Show me those big old buttes. Anyways, the fuck. Anyways, what do we see on the 2 day, 3 days? Or anything new over here? No, not really. Weekly. Anything new over here? Oh, yes, that's what I also forgot to mention. The weekly can also populate hidden bullish evidence as soon as tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time as well. Any sort of a closure basically above 3,700 will certainly do it. So this is looking pretty damn good for the week to come. And what do you know? Volatility on the weekly is even getting back above 50 percentile, and more importantly, above the moving average on that as well, which also has a positive slope. Good, very good. And the weekly jewel also with positive curvature. Lovely, very fucking lovely. Let's go check out short-term momentum oscillators over here like Stokes, and let's see what we got going on the 4 hour. 4 hour Stokes will actually cross back up with any sort of a closure above 39.37. So I would look for that to start to bleed into the medium and higher term timeframes like the 12 hour, daily, and weekly. 12 hour will cross back up with any sort of closure above 39.60. Basically, that kind of aligns with a lot of the other areas that we're looking at. And daily, it's going to be 38.60 actually right there. So looking pretty damn good. And actually, HVP is already ticking up. So that is a good preliminary signal right here as well. So essentially, you know, a few ways of looking at this. You know, if you want to be super aggressive, I would insinuate that if Ethereum does tick above yesterday's high, essentially Saturday's high, I would look for that move to occur towards, you know, 4,200 or so over the next few days. With that said, as always, there's an invalidation point. Warning signal below about 38.25, as we said, and then I would no longer be medium term bullish on this one if it did lose about 37.30 to be exact, or we could just say 37.10 to make it, or sorry, 37 even to be to make it a little bit easier. Either which way, just this area right here. If Ethereum starts to lose that area, yes, I would start to not be as excited about this one. But for right now, looking pretty damn good. The setup is there. Just need to see the next few closures, and this week could be a rather exciting week. And you know, just as an aside here, as we're only 7 minutes into this video, I do suspect that, you know, we see this market kind of move in varying degrees of relative strength and relative weakness. And who are the ones who are kind of leading this whole rally up to begin with? Well, I think the obvious one was Solana, as far as like the major caps go. And what happened after this one broke its prior all-time high? It just flew onto new all-time highs, had a little bit of a drop back down. But that was just your next higher low, and then just zoomed onto new all-time highs after that. What was another one that also led this market? Cardano. What happened after it broke its all-time high right in over here? A little bit of a pullback. This one not as aggressive, by the way. And now consolidated at a high level as well. This one kind of does look like it wants to pull back a little bit towards 262, however. And again, do I feel too confident about that? Nah, not really. I don't really feel too confident about Cardano right here. Anyways, back onto Ethereum. So let's, whoops, wrong chart. Let's do some a little bit more fun with this one. What we can do right here is we can take an extension based off of the prior consolidation on the daily right here. So I'm going to take a more, oh, Jesus Christ. All right. We just do a new chart. No, let's find this one over here. There we go. Yeah, that works. All right. Here we go. Nice fresh chart. Let's get rid of everything right here and make it as easy and simple as possible. So I'm going to take this extension right here. See that we're already trading at the 2.618. And when you see a bit of consolidation between there and about the 272, usually getting pretty mature within that consolidation. I would pretty much agree with that. Again, good volume on that last up thrust, and this is a consolidation at a high level, typically a good sign. Anyways, next sort of major areas to be interested in on a new breakout would again be somewhere between, probably more like around 4,200-ish region. Maybe even as high as about a spike towards like 43.50 or so, and consolidate there for a little bit of time. And could that set it up for a run later this year, maybe into like October, November, towards $5,000? Perhaps yes. But overall, again, understand what those invalidation points are, because nothing is 100% guaranteed. There is a non-zero probability of course, black swan events or just, random weird shit happening. In this case right here, again, warning signals below 38.50, no longer short-term bullish. Big warning signals below about 3,700. I would let go of all these ideas at that point and just kind of watch after that. Maybe even play some downside. But for right now, it does look pretty damn good still. At least to myself. And typically, popping around your all-time highs is usually not like the worst signal of all time. Again, if this one closed on new all-time highs for the weekly, you might get some pullback. I mean, there's certainly going to be some pullbacks along the way. Could even pull back down to like that 3,700 number, but I look at that as an opportunity first and foremost. Until then, this one's the trend is your friend, as the saying goes. With that said, I'm going to be signing off now. Or actually, should we do one more? Should we do one more interesting thing? Let's put on a line chart really quickly. And we'll draw an extension for this area right here, the whole consolidation. So we will exclude the bear trap, and we will exclude the bull trap. And we'll populate this. And this one looks a lot more obvious. Yeah, 272 and 414 overlay between about 42 and 45.50. That would actually make a lot of sense. Long term, assuming that this is a macro low, which, if Bitcoin's put it in, I expect that this one probably is as well. Then, technically speaking, I guess you could see, a path forwards to some more interesting numbers, maybe even 5 digits around end of year if things look good. Again, I wouldn't necessarily stand by that analysis. Obviously, there's going to be more pertinent stuff in the short-term timeframes that can obviously, negate that depending upon what happens. But, take it one step at a time. And for right now, short-term timeframes are looking good. Keep an eye out for the next closure in about 1 hour from now. Actually, literally just 1 hour from now. And we'll come back tomorrow with another live stream analysis and follow up on Ethereum. With that said, take care. Wish you well, and until next time.